The dimensions look like they're kind of all over the place as far as size goes, but if you remember back what we did when we started this layout, we turned off Annotation Scale. By turning Annotation Scale back on, I'll be telling Rhino to take whatever dimension values are set here in the dimension style and apply them one-to-one on the layout. So that means that text from this dimension style will be 1/10 of an inch high. Now, 1/8 of an inch is pretty typical, but this means that the text will be just a little smaller than 1/8 of an inch high. In addition, all of these other items will also be scaled, like the center line size. And if I scroll down, you can see the arrow size is also set to 1/10 of a unit. Okay? So Annotation Scale will make sure that when I view and plot these dimensions, that they look appropriate on the layout, regardless of what the detail scale is set to. And so when I do that, immediately the detail view of the cap, so I'm going to type in cap detail here, looks better. And if I double click and I go in and look at the dimension, it's using the inch decimal dimension style. There are a couple dimensions though that have overrides on the style, and if you look at these dimensions, instead of following what the style is doing, they have overrides. So I can either keep those overrides in place or I can remove the overrides. And so in this case, I just chose to remove the overrides. There's one other setting that's really helpful when you have a lot of dimensions, and that's turning on a mask. And the mask will make the dimensions readable, maybe not so much here on the layout in the layout area, but on the plot they'll come through with that white background. Okay, so any dimensions that I create using that style are going to take on that white background. Okay, let's start in the dimension view. And what we may want to do in this view is also hide that plane that we have the bottle sitting on. So let's do a couple dimensions. I'm going to make sure I have my dim layout layer current and it's on in this detail. And we have a drafting tab. And on the drafting tab we have a linear dimension. And using my O-snaps, I'll create a couple dimensions here. Okay. When you're using your O-snaps, you want to make sure, and get to the right O-snap, otherwise it will come off with a different dimension. So I can take this dimension and go to Properties, to Dimension, and I can add a label. And I could do that to both of them. I could also add a radius dimension. Again, if I had a particular ISO curve that I wanted to dimension to, diameter. I want to show you one interesting thing here about the dimension. I can dimension either in the detail or on the layout. And when I do that, this is really the key here, and we'll see it a number of times as we're doing these dimensions. The dimension reflects the model geometry. Okay, let's create a couple more dimensions, and we're well on our way to taking a look at the 2D example. So what I want to do is create a couple of linear dimensions using the continue option. So I'm going to pick a couple of significant points here to dimension to. and using the continue option. Notice how Smart Track starts to get in the way. That's when I turn it off. Okay, let's go all the way down to the bottom of the bottle. Enter to complete. And to do an overall dimension, we'll go from the top of the bottle to the bottom of the bottle, and the dimension is created. And like we saw in the top detail, if I'm careful about my object snaps and I create an overall dimension, this is the goal, that the dimensions that are created in the layout and on top of the layout are the same. Obviously that's redundant, so I'll take those away. They're just kind of fun to look at.